Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Myron. Today, we've got the latest edition from Smokeye Hill. Now, the blue label came in tearing things up. It won all types of awards. I mean, you see I have it on the channel. We're definitely going to get into it. Let's get it.
Bottle drop, bottle drop, bottle drop.
So I was at Dennis's Bourbon Meetup. There were a few people there. Shout out to Donnie, man. He introduced himself. We actually met at Dennis's first Bourbon Meetup where I met Bourbon Hunter, Bourbon Judge, Bourbon Retriever, Tanner from Bourbon. I mean, it's so many bourbon channels out there. But anyway, so me and Donnie got to talking. We were, just exchanging notes on different bottles. And then, of course, you kind of just maneuver through the crowd. Dennis always has a packed house. But at the end of the night, Donnie noticed that I had a Rio for trade. So Donnie was like, hey man, my wife really loves those bottles. I've got the Smokeye Hill, the new rye. Would you like to trade? I was like, look, say less. I am always going to trade away a Rio for a barrel proof 131.2 proof new release. So this thing right here is brand new for 2025, man. So like I said, I got to give a shout out to Dennis and a shout out to Donnie, man. And I also got to give a shout out to Wade because my first Smokeye Hill, like I said in the intro, the blue label like came in as like the upsetter. Like it came in upsetting everybody. Like you had guys talking about it was the Stag beater, the GTS beater. I was like, I had a sample of it. Like I said, shout out to Wade, and it was good, but I was like, I don't know. But this thing has a lot of heat on it. But when I got it home and I cracked it, I felt like there was a lot behind that heat. So I kind of let that heat simmer down a little bit, went back into it. I even had to sit down today at the table and write notes because I'm sitting in the office like sipping this thing and I'm like, man, there's so many flavors behind this thing. So hopefully all those flavors show up in a few minutes because like I said, I was in the office probably about a few hours ago. So on the nose, this is what I have on the nose. Vanilla, orange, smoke, dark chocolate, pralines, maple syrup. On the palate, I've got rye, sweet burnt sugars, white and brown, citrus leaning more towards grapefruit, brownie batter. Like this thing is oily, but it's hot. Like once the heat calms down off the first sip, that second sip is where those flavors really come alive, man. Stewed fruits, I've got rich and chewy. The finish is long, slightly minty, dark chocolate, like a dark chocolate bar. Like when I get into my samples or get into, whatever bottle I'm reviewing on the channel, sometimes those notes don't come to me. So you get a very simplistic breakdown of the bottle. And I was talking to Donnie and Donnie was like, hey man, I really love how you do your videos. You put it in layman's terms. He was like, you don't try to use, big words. And I am the type of person that I want to make it easy for everybody to understand. I don't need to use words, big words or flavors that people have not necessarily had before to try and say my palate is that well versed. But I do like to make it simple. Just give you guys what I get. That way it's so simple that you guys can say, hey, I can relate. Like who can't relate to vanilla? Who can't relate to banana Laffy Taffy? Who can't relate to raspberry noun laters? Like things like that. So when I'm giving you like vanilla cream, Italian vanilla creamer, like those are notes that I know most people are gonna get. But yeah, we had a great time. Shout out to you once again, Dennis. I've got my whiskey blinders, Glen. Dennis hooked me up with a Glen. So I am here and excited to get into this bottle for you guys. This is new for 2025. Now, let me give you a little bit of specs on the bottle. So they don't do any distilling. This is distilled to their specs, okay? So on the back of the bottle, it says that this is the finest rye with heirloom blue corn, yellow corn, and malted barley. They don't, even on the website, they don't give you a ton of information. It is 5 years old. They do put that on the front of the bottle. I do respect them for that. The heirloom blue corn, is that kind of a new thing? It's not a widely used thing. Blue corn, I'm pretty sure has been used before, just kind of like you got the Johnny Red corn. But does it add some complexity and flavors to the bottle? I would have to say yes. So after running down a list of everything that I gave you guys, I think that blue corn does do something to it. Now, it does come out of Indiana. Hopefully at some point they start distilling their own stuff, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's get into the nose. Oakiness, black pepper, touch of honey on the nose, and like white table sugar. All right, let's get into the palate. Oh, that is oily. That is oily. That is like I said before. And today I am even getting a butterscotch. So butterscotch, caramel, brown sugar, white sugar. A little bit of that citrus pops up. Like I said, you get grapefruit on the mid. There's that dark chocolate on the back. There's black pepper on the back. This is one of those bottles you can really like sit down with and just break down. Like, shout out to my bourbon brother B Og, man. He was asking this at a daily sipper. I said, it is 131.2, so it's not gonna be a daily sipper in my opinion. I told him, I said, this is a Friday night special. Like, this is something that you can really sit down with and break it down. Like I told you, man, all of these notes on the palate, I should have mentioned rye, because I do feel like it's rye forward. So the sweet burnt sugars, white and brown, that citrus leaning towards grapefruit, yeah. Oily. It is oily on the palate. And like, you can sit here and chew on this thing, man. Nose, vanilla, orange smoke, dark chocolate. Yeah, on that second sniff, like the second nosing after I put it into the palate for the first time, that's when more of the nose comes alive for me, and that vanilla is really hitting me heavy. That citrus is punching me in the nose. The rye is punching me in the nose. There's a little bit of a nutty note that I did not pick up at the bourbon meetup or the first night that I got it home and cracked it. All right, back into the palate. Yeah, more of that rye has come through now. More of those stewed fruit notes have come through now. Still white sugar, table sugar, rye on the mid, oak on the mid. See, I love my bottles when they're warm. I always shoot in the basement. It's warmer upstairs. The bottles tend to warm up upstairs. They give me more notes upstairs. I get it down here in the basement. I get more of a drying oak. I am picking up a little bit more of that drying oak. Now upstairs, it was there, but it was very slight. As the bottle has cooled down since it's been downstairs, it is starting to, take over a little bit on the mid. Still that dark chocolate on the mid. It's heavy, and the finish is going forever, man. Wow. So I am going to get into the breakdown of this thing. Me and Scott were talking. I'm trying to mix the videos up a little bit. I should have, done a new format on this video, and I told myself to do that. But sometimes it's hard to do that. But I kind of want to just try and mix it up a little bit. Maybe get a lot of you guys to stick around a lot longer through the videos. Maybe get you guys to comment more. I mean, a lot of you guys are already in the comments, and I really appreciate that. Get a lot more subs, because like half of you guys that are watching aren't subs, so I'd really appreciate it if you guys subscribe. But we'll get into the breakdown of this thing, man. So, is this bottle worth the chase? It's a 2025 bottle. When I sat upstairs in the office and I broke it down, I almost put it at my number one. Now my number one, because I'm going to do the list differently this year. So I'm going to have rye, and I'm going to have picks and store picks and not celebrity whiskey, but like content creator picks, things like that. So this almost made like top of the list, but that heat, like when you first sat down with it, that heat just put you off. But like you had to sit there and just let it chill, let it calm down a little bit, and then go back into it. So I am not going to say it's worth the chase. Is it very good? Yes, this is a brand new product. It is definitely worth picking up. Is it worth retail? This might be a little tricky for some, because like I really couldn't find like a retail price on their website, but online I saw prices anywhere between, I think it was 75 and 95. So I would pay either. I think it is that good. I think it's definitely worth retail. I would pay either 75 or 95. Who is it for? This thing is 131.2 proof. I got to keep looking at it just to make sure. That is for an experienced bourbon drinker only. And like I said, it was hot. It was hot. An intermediate bourbon drinker, it might like burn, it will burn your face off. I'm just going to give it to you. I'm going to keep it real. Will it always be on the bar? I was happy that I got this bottle, not, because like I said, the Blue Label just set things on fire. Like when it dropped, it set things on fire. For a minute, gave it all types of awards. Everybody was talking about it. I was happy to get this bottle, not knowing like really what it was going to break down and turn into. I will try and keep this bottle on the bar because it is that good. It is hot though. So like, I don't want to, like I told my bourbon brother, Brian, like I can't make this a daily. Like this is definitely a Friday night special. I do need to send a sample out to my man Wade. Wade, you got one coming to you, but yeah, it will always be on the bar because I am savoring it. and until these are in my area, I will definitely have a bottle on the bar because I am savoring the bottle. Now, if it is up to will it always be on the bar because it's in the area, even if it's in the area, I will always keep a bottle on the bar. And with that being said, let the whiskey flow. Never run out unless you head it to a drop. Until next time.